Good morning, everybody. So we are going to do the Sync 4 12-inch display walkthrough. While it's dark, I think it's easier without the glares and everything like that. So when you guys fire up your new Ford and it has this screen, it's usually going to be just like this, which is actually a really nice display. The colors are easy on the eyes, and the Sync 4 is actually very easy to operate. Most of them are like a Google-based system. Sync 4 does have Alexa built in. You can see the circle there. And I like the system. I enjoy it. Now, the Uconnect and the RAM, it's a beautiful screen. Everything is great. But one thing I don't understand is when the RAM is just, for instance, on this bigger screen, when we go to reverse, you get the whole screen in the Ford. In the RAM, you get some smaller version. Even on the 360 camera, it's a very small fraction of it. Chevy screens are also very nice looking. Everything like that. I'd like to get one of the new 12-inch screens on that to go through and really see the biggest difference, but I haven't got my hands on one. But as for Sync 4, this is what it is. So started at the top. This is usually where your seat temperature, your climate control temperature is going to be. Some of these are hot buttons. This is not, so this does nothing. This will actually bring up your clock where you can set it. You have your Alexa built in here. You have your just trying to read that. So you have basically like your phone stuff, your Wi-Fi, so you can see your connected features. And then you can go over here to your phone messages, so any of those. This is not a hot button right here. If we go back, typically you can have your screen however you want. On this side page over here, you can click this little pages button and then scroll through to see which ones you have. You have phone, trips. Basically, it's a pretty picture of what's already coming up on there. Now, what you can do too is you can just scroll through them this way, and we can go through here. You can turn off that little donk sound if you don't like that. We can do eco behavior, our off-road pages. You can do your onboard power, zone lighting, which is cool. I mean, if you really want to activate zone lighting, you can click it. Any of those you click, it'll bring to the main screen, and then from here, when you turn on your zone lighting, you'll have the opportunity to then click on these side lights, the rear light, cargo lights, and everything like that. You can also hit all zones, or you can override that so it will shut off the headlights. So if we click out of here and go back, it automatically shoves it back. So instead of having to correct or put it back where you want it, it kind of jams it over here, which I like. Again, from here you can see all of these screens, trip, fuel, everything. So if we go back here to your navigations setting here, you can actually like click into it. It brings the map over right away. You can use your voice recognition to add it. You can add your streets and everything like this, and it really catches it quick. When you put it in here, add your address, it's bang, it's in. It's not one of those 9-step processes where it's a number, then it's a street, and then it's a city, or switch that direction of how it goes. While you're running your nav, it zaps over here to your Sirius, and then again, it does have your opportunity to pause on your Sirius and your rewind and your live, which is nice. You can see the options here for all of your navigation settings, and so, you know, what's good is if you click on something like that for gas stations, it brings up a set of like really cool ones, you know, that are close. It kind of does that for you. You know, if you just want to click the number, you can. If you want to do this and click this page over here, you can. What's also neat is most of the Sync 4 12-inch screens are going to be subscription based, meaning you will have the features in here to do all of this. You have to have the subscription to do it. Now, you get a free trial, obviously, and then it's like $80 a year, I think, last time I checked. Now, you might be thinking that's a steep price to pay, but at the end of the day, those subscriptions give you all of this data. So if you're using this a lot and you find it, you know, to your advantage, you can. Now, if you get the factory nav built in, the Sync 4, you will have maps that'll probably be somewhat up to date for a year or two as they change, as subdivisions get built, businesses get built. Obviously, those can fall behind quickly. And typically, for most manufacturers, last time we did it in our Durango, our 15 Durango, is almost $800 to upgrade the maps. Well, $80 a year times 6 years would be about $480. So you can kind of see there is a cost basis to that. Now, this is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so if you don't want to even pay for the subscription, this icon you can swap out at the bottom for another icon, and you will have it built in if you choose to use it later, but you'd have to then subscribe. Where I find advantages is you can see right here we have fuel prices. Typically, it tells you the hours. It'll usually show Yelp reviews, telephone numbers, parking nearby, and everything like that. You can see on the map showing us our current temp. You have your way to change everything, and then you can see these little brown dots. You can turn on breadcrumbs, which is cool. So when you're going towards your house or your normal place where you drive, it's actually calculating traffic data. You don't even have to plug it in, but if you look over in the corner, it'll say, hey, if you're heading this direction to this address, you're gonna arrive about this time. I think that's kind of nice. Actually, I don't think it's kind of nice. I think it's great. So when you get out of here, again, you can choose all of these different options. You can save favorites, home, parents' house, airport, whatever floats your boat. So I really enjoy this map feature because it is really good. Again, the Android Auto looks like every other Android Auto. It's just as intuitive, but I like the responsiveness of this screen. So very good in that respect. That's one of my favorite things. And then I like to pull this over here and keep that map over there all the time, so that way I know my side streets as I'm coming up to an area that I haven't been in. Again, when it comes to your audio, you can program, I think, up to 20 pages. And it's weird where this is actually at to add more and more. It starts with like 12, and I'll do an actual walkthrough of how to set this up. I'm just kind of showing you guys today what this all entails. But it's actually pretty cool how you can set those up. And I do like, you know, how you can go through these pages really quick. While you're on XM, you can grab the knob down here. It will pop up. And then you can actually scroll them. You can use the knob. You can do whatever you want to change all of these stations. You can do a direct tune if you know your thing. So very simple. Is it the most flashy screen? I think it's very nice, and it's plenty flashy for me. But you know, some guys will be like, there's better out there and whatnot. I don't need it to play video games like in a Tesla or anything like that. But you do have on some functions to save and notify you of different things. Cruise over here to phone. You can set up as many phones as you want in this thing. The do not disturb, messaging, etc. And the system does really well at recognizing my twang when I talk, so we're good there. Again, back here to the nav, you can swap these icons out if you don't want. I actually added zone lighting to my bottom menu so I didn't have to scroll through here, so I can leave that. You cruise into apps. You can see right here it is wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so I like that. Settings is where you're going to find everything to set it up, and believe me, this is, again, where it was kind of wonky on how to add favorites. I will do a separate video on that because I don't want this one to be too long. I just kind of want to show you the display. But yeah, this is where you'll set all your vehicle features and everything like that. Set everything up, and we'll go over that in a different video. Again, you can actually set up everything in here. And then I just like how it's very simple. One thing I will tell you that's very cool is when you go in here to driver's assistance, you can not only set everything up here, which is very cool, but if we go back here, the Pro Power on board, you can make sure that you can see it's in generator mode, and you have the opportunity with this switch up here to run it without the engine. But you can actually go into the owner's manual, and basically your owner's manual, for the most part, most of the things you'd have questions about are actually built in here. So you can actually go into categories, and you can actually watch videos, if you will. So if you're someplace and you don't want to get out the book, or it's, you know, you're bored or whatever, you just want to kind of read about stuff or watch tutorials, you could do that. There are helpful videos in here. There are how to do everything. So if you had a question, you can actually go up here and type it. You know, you can go in and just say, and see if it comes up with a category. So saving presets, recalling, you know, it's all in here. You don't have to dig out the book. I really enjoy that. The RAM had like 3 features out of the book in the screen, but they will have some videos on here if you needed, you know, to watch a video, whatnot, you can. The biggest thing with this Sync 4 system is you want to make sure that when you go into settings that you get this set up to do automatic vehicle updates. So you'll go into connectivity and hook your vehicle up to Wi-Fi. Now, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do that because you know, might tattle to forward on what I'm doing in the truck. Yeah, it's going to report some analytical data, but there are screens in here where you can actually tell the system, no, I don't want to share that information. And then if you want, You know, Big Brother still might be watching, but at the end of the day, you can dictate what is shared with them and everything like that. But having the ability to have it set up to Wi-Fi and have it push over-the-air updates will probably save you a trip to the dealer. It'll keep you the most up-to-date on your maps if you use connected nav. A lot of these vehicles, I don't know why somebody would want to go in there just to have them push, you know, do a flash on the computer or update. I've always agreed to it. I've never had an issue with it. Of course, I don't do anything crazy with the truck, so I don't have any issues when it comes to that. But you want to get in here, connect your Wi-Fi, click into it, it'll set it up again. I'll go through a how-to video later. I just want to show you the Sync 4 12-inch screen again. This is going to be the screen that you're going to get in your new Super Duty with the 12-inch, your F-150. The Sync 4 is very similar in most of the other vehicles that have it. But when it comes to the pickups, when you have this screen, this is the Sync 4 12-inch. That is the walkthrough of what it looks like and how nice it looks. Again, I really appreciate how well they put it together and how simple it is for a guy like me who doesn't necessarily love all the gadgetry gizmo stuff. I like functionality, and I like the colors, the way they did it. It's very subtle. It's very you know, approachable, and it's not overwhelming. All right, guys, down there in the corner is a bright red button. Smash that for the subscribe button. I'm trying to get the channel keeping cranking. And then we will see you on the next one. If you also don't mind, please feel free to comment and like.